Hello and welcome to this, I hope, short comment on um, our reading of Facing the Forests by Abraham Yehoshua. In our last discussion on Wednesday, March the 6th, I indicated in my comments in my lecture that I was confused, and I wanted you to help me with the reading of this story. I was confused about the tension between the critical comment that the critic Ben Ezer uh, made in an essay about this story, and about um, how I read the Arab in the story. You might recall that Ben Ezer, as I said in the lecture, Ben Ezer claims that for Yehoshua's generation, the Arab becomes a threat to Israel's existence. And he contrasts this with the representation of the Arab in the work of Yizhar's pre-1948 generation. Yizhar's generation, he argues, is primarily concerned about the Arab as a moral problem, stemming from the treatment of the Palestinians in the Nakba. But the representation, he says, of the Arab in Yehoshua's generation moves to a picture of the Arab as a threat to Israel. In my discussion with you, I said that I find it difficult to see the Arab as a threat, his representation by Yehoshua as a threat. Now that I think about it, as I posted a tweet just a couple of days ago, now that I think about it, I don't know why I didn't see this earlier. Of course, Yehoshua presents the Arab as a threat. The Arab burns down Israel. The forest is symbolic of Israel. He is in the bosom of Israel, there living in the midst of the forest that represents Israel. Every time the fire watcher, plays with fire, tries to, very curiously tries to set a fire, kindle a fire with the pine needles, the Arab's face lights up with a kind of, anticipatory disbelief, delight, the inference being that, geez, I can't believe that this Israeli Jew would actually be doing something that may lead to the burning down of the forest, which is covering up the ruined Arab village. And of course, it is the fire watcher, the Jew, who teaches the Arab, who has been setting in this stock of kerosene, to light the fire. So, yes, the Arab is represented by Yehoshua as an existential threat to Israel. And when he runs about the forest, lighting the fire that last night, before the fire watcher's job tenure comes to an end, he is burning down Israel. Now, the curious thing is not so much that the Arab is not nearly as elusive as I was first reading him to be. It is the fire watcher's motivation that is so problematic. He, if anything, collaborates with the Arab. He does nothing to raise the alarm once he sees the fire being set. And then ultimately, he turns, as it were, he turns the Arab in under intense negotiation. He finally, Yehoshua tells us, is ready to assign blame to the Arab. Whose side is he on? If you haven't watched my earlier class summary of the March 6th class meeting, please do that, because I list the things that could be really frustrating or angering the fire watcher. It's the same list that I gave in the lecture. How important are those things? Is the fire watcher angry at Israel in some sense? Why would he not want to raise the alarm and stop the fire? Where does this preoccupation with conflagration, with flame, come from? That's precisely what I'm going to ask you to write about in your pieces about the Yehoshua short story. I hope this clarification is valuable to you. You know, these stories are comparatively new to me. This is a new area of intellectual interest for me. I start as a Holocaust scholar, and I come to this crisis, this catastrophe of the Nakba and the Palestinian-Israeli conflict as an offshoot of my interest in the Holocaust and representations in literature of the Holocaust. So I'm really, working with you, as I said in the very early lectures when we first began meeting back in late January, early February. I'm really reading these stories along with you, discovering them and trying to figure out what kind of insight they give us into the conflict that is not possible from other kinds of texts. So I'm discovering these stories in a sense. I know them, of course, a bit better than you do, encountering them as you are for the very first time. But I am coming to these stories comparatively fresh. And so I really want to work along with you in bringing these stories to clarity. It's a collaborative enterprise we have here. I'm not here just to teach you the stories. I want us to discover them together. I haven't got all the answers, but I regard the pursuit of understanding as one of the great goods that we as humans can pursue. All right? So thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope this has been valuable. I hope to talk to you again soon. Thank you for now. Bye.